Hey Burn Nation, welcome to the Burn Boot Camp podcast. My name is Jennifer Paynter, this is Luke Smith, and we are your fitness specialists here at HQ. And in honor of National Protein Day on February 27th, we are doing a little mini series on protein and why it is so important. So make sure you tune in every Friday for the next couple of Fridays. So making it a little bit more, kicking it back a little bit more high level. Protein is one of the macronutrients. Do you want to break down what the macronutrients are, Luke?
Yeah, so before we get into a super big deep dive on all the importance of protein, which is really what we're going to focus on this episode, is why is protein so important, we're going to take it one step higher. We're going to break down macronutrients as a whole. So all the food that we consume is going to consist of proteins, carbs, and fats. So associated with those macronutrients, there's a calorie association with every single macronutrient that we have. So protein, for every 1 gram, there's going to be 4 calories, and carbs, that's also going to be 4 calories, and fat will also have 9 calories. So fat's the only one that's a little bit different, and this isn't always listed on the back of every nutrition label, but there are so calories within sugar, alcohol, or alcohol consumption itself. I know a lot of us like to have our weekend beers or our late night wines. There's 7 calories for every gram of alcohol that we have, but protein we know is going to be muscle building. That's going to help with a lot of tissue and repair, which is going to be super important for us as people who go to Burn Boot Camp every single day, hopefully 4 to 6 times a week. And carbs are going to be that energy source that's going to help us perform at the highest level when we go into camp. And then fats, really how I like to think about that is it's just going to make my joints feel better when I'm on the floating floor, when I'm hitting those full burpees and jump lunges. That's going to help lubricate those joints.
So when we have a lot of people come in, baseline, when we start tracking, they want all the things. They want to know the calories. We want to know what macros you should have. And honestly, I think the best starting point is tracking protein. And I think Luke would agree, because I think that is going to make the biggest impact when you're trying to change your body or you're starting on that fitness journey. Why was tracking protein, do you think, is going to make the biggest impact on your journey?
Well, I think just protein as a whole, really, if we look at the society we live in, everything that we have is consumed by highly processed carbs and super saturated fats. I know that we spend a lot of time in the field, a lot of time traveling, and it's super hard to find a grilled chicken breast at 7-Eleven gas station in the corner or even the QT, whatever it is. I'm not finding good, healthy sources. The only things I have to lean on are Pop-Tarts and Sour Patch Kids and all the other junk you can find in the aisles. So I think it's really important to make protein the number one priority that we have, knowing that it's going to provide us with the most bang for our buck. So if I'm looking to stay fuller longer, I know I want to have as much protein as I can. If I'm looking to recover a little bit better, I know that I need to have protein. If I'm looking to improve my my body composition, if I'm focused on losing body fat, protein has to be the number one thing that we're taking every single day.
And at Burn Boot Camp, we do very challenging workouts, okay? That's one we take a lot of pride in. Our members work really, really hard, but sometimes they don't see the results. Or when I first started as a member, I worked really, really hard and didn't see any results. My body was not changing, and I couldn't figure out, I had changed my routine so vastly that I just inherently thought my body should naturally change. And it wasn't until I was about 6-8 months in, I booked a focus meeting where I realized I wasn't fueling my body for the results I was chasing. And protein is a great place to start. They told me when I first started, which now I know a little bit more why, is 100 grams is kind of a really safe baseline to start for almost anyone. Okay, so why is 100 grams important?
Well, I think when it comes to 100 grams, one, it's just a whole number, and I think that's a really good place to start, solely because it's not going to overwhelm you with the amount of food consumption you're going to need to be able to hit 100 grams. I know a lot of times being in focus meetings, Paynter and I were both trainers in the system for a really long time. Paynter's still a trainer, but you hear the words 100, and that just really sounds like a lot of food. And really, if you break it down per meal, it's really not as much as it sounds like. That's 2 or 3 eggs for breakfast at 6 grams of protein per egg. You have a Greek yogurt in the middle of the day as a snack. There's 15 grams. I go work out at Burn. I get my scoop of Afterburn. There's 23. I'm already over 50 grams. And if you just sit down with your family at dinner and you eat between 4 to 6 ounces of a chicken breast or a steak, or you guys are having ground beef, hamburgers, whatever it may be, you're already going to be close to 100. But I think the most important part is just bringing a realization to how much, in society that we spend under eating, probably especially with the demographic we have here at Burn, is really bringing a whole focus to teaching our bodies how to eat more so we can perform better and ultimately get the results that we want.
I agree. I'm going to age myself a little bit. I'm significantly older than Lucas, but I grew up in the society where Caesar salads and a Diet Coke was very acceptable and the preferred lunch or dinner of many meals when we went out. And we didn't understand how adding chicken, even scratching the salad altogether and getting a steak and chicken is a lot more beneficial. And we weren't even doing the workouts that a lot of people are doing now. Okay. We understand how strength training is changing. We don't need to do cardio bunnies all the time. We have to pick up heavy weights. And how are we going to continue to pick up heavy weights if we're not getting enough protein? So, why do proteins and strength training need to go hand in hand?
Yeah, so I mean, really, it boils down to our capacity to get stronger over time. And I know a lot of us, when we start initially on our fitness journey, we're looking to lose weight, and everyone likes to use the words, I want to tone up. But really, toning up just means that you're losing body fat to have the muscles that you are building, or the muscles that you do have, to make them pop and to make them show. And it's our job as people that are, going to burn boot camp and trying to work it every day to make the biggest cognizant effort to consume at least 100 grams a day,
Mhm.
I think. And Painter, I guess if we have focus meetings when you were training, how would you talk about the importance of protein to your members? I know, like, for example, my mom is in her early 60s, and she's still mortified
Oh, my
to
mom is too.
to eat protein. She always wants to
Absolutely.
say, it's going to make me bulky. And for breakfast, I know this morning, I'm sure she woke up and she opened her, Peter Pan peanut butter, and that was her breakfast. And she had
Mhm.
one scoop, and she thinks that's a
Mhm.
healthy alternative. So how are you talking about the protein consumption to members and why it's just important?
So I feel when people come to focus meetings, less is more is the mentality that has been ingrained in everyone. And a lot of people come in and we want to know your goals, right? And a lot of goals is I want to tone up. And inadvertently, when you ask those questions, they want their muscles to show. They want the hard work that they come in to show and reflect in their bodies. And that's going to take fueling your bodies. And that's the first thing we've got to break down. If you're not getting enough calories and you're not getting enough carbs and protein, that muscle is not going to be built. All right. And females don't have an excessive amount of testosterone where all of a sudden we're going to bulk up. We're not going to turn into the Hulk because we have a protein shake every single day. Okay. A lot of times it helps manage weight, it helps people lean out. A lot of us are under eating, so it's getting us the calories to fuel our body or just quick on the go, busy lifestyles. Protein shakes, maybe a protein bar, and then prioritizing whole foods at meals is going to be your best friend. Also, a lot of people come in and they're perpetually sore in focus meetings. They come in and they're like, Painter, is this?
100%.
I'm 2 months in and I am sore all the time. Are you sore? I get it. If we're tearing down those muscles, because that's what's happening, we're tearing down those muscles. We're not building muscle in a leg day. We're tearing them down and we're not repairing them with the fuel that our body is requiring after that to maintain and to build. We're just wearing that body down. Okay, it's a machine, and we're just continuously wearing it down. So when I'm in a focus meetings, I need people to realize you need calories to lean out. You need calories to build the muscle. A lot of people have goals and muscle goals that they want to gain in certain areas. Hey, it's gonna take protein and carbs. Okay. And then if you don't want to feel absolutely sore all the time, that's your body telling you something. It's telling you that you are not giving your body something, that it is being run down, because you shouldn't feel. I mean, burn boot camp workouts are hard, but you shouldn't be continuously sore where you're questioning if you can come in or walk or everything hurts. That's not the goal.
Yeah.
That's not the goal. So that's what the biggest things I hear in focus meetings, on a kind of a base level of why you need protein.
Well, I think one thing that Painter hit on too is we're not going to overconsume too much. I know that there's a lot of talk around, well,
Mhm,
if I eat protein, am I getting bulky?
mhm,
Guys, I've been trying to get too big for probably 3 or 4 or 5 years now, and I take in excess of 300 grams of protein every day, and I'm
mhm,
still, people have been in the office. Matt's been clowning me about how much weight
mhm,
I've been losing lately, and I'm still intaking just so much protein on a
mhm,
daily basis. But my body feels really, really good. My recovery is the best it's ever been.
mhm,
And one thing that Painter just hit on, guys, is the satiation that protein provides too. It's like I'm going to stay fuller longer
mhm,
when I have protein. If we're just consuming
mhm,
processed carbs and saturated fats, our body is going to break that down so fast. If I go eat at McDonald's, I'm going to be hungry again within an hour. But if I consume protein, it's going to sit on my stomach a little bit longer. It's going to slow down my digestion. And your body, guys, if you're talking about burning calories and wanting to burn more of those every day to be in that caloric deficit, the thermic effect of food, which all of our macronutrients had, it's basically means how many calories is it going to take for my body to break it down. Protein has between 20 and 30% of a thermic effect. So if I eat 100 calories from protein, it's going to take my body 30 calories to break it down, which is really interesting. So if you guys are looking to burn more by doing less, just eat more protein.
mhm.
Sit down with your, 4 ounces of chicken at every single meal, and your body is going to feel better, and it rewards you in the long run when it comes to your body composition as a whole.
And in real life, guys, our demographics is a lot of busy women, moms, families. Okay, so the bulky myth is, I mean, if you're worried, people are worried about gaining mass. Okay, that mass is going to come a lot of times with overeating or eating in a surplus, and I can almost guarantee 90% of our membership base in our community are not overeating. Okay, you're probably undereating because you're on the go and moving quickly from thing to thing, and you're not prioritizing yourself. And the only time you do is that 45 minutes where you're just doing this brutal workout. Okay. So that I'm not sure why people associate eating protein with all of a sudden gaining a huge amount of mass and getting bulky, because that's not the case. A lot of the time it is have something, have some protein for breakfast, because then it might stop you from grabbing your kids' chicken nugget, their goldfish, their snacks, because you're hungry and your body's screaming out for fuel, and it's easy to grab it. So maybe if you put something on your stomach that's going to get you a little fuller longer, not only is it going to help repair those muscles, it's going to keep you fuller longer, but it's going to help those little habits that you maybe didn't realize you were doing. Okay, you've got to give yourself fuel to be successful on. The second one is if you're getting enough protein, guys, you're probably upping your calories where you need to be, just for life. So a lot of people think it's you know I just want to eat something real quick. I'm going to grab some crackers. Okay, I'm going to grab some of my mom's peanut butter and crackers. Well, I got a little bit of protein or some cheese and crackers because that's old school. Grab yourself some sources that are really going to give you. I say between 15 and 20 is a really good snack source, and between 30 is a really good meal source. And that is a bar, a shake, Greek yogurt. That is 4 to 6 ounces of chicken. That is sirloins. That is beef, ground turkey. There's a lot of sources out there that you can go ahead and get that are easy and that your family's going to enjoy also.
Yeah, and I'll say to kind of double click on some of those things that Paynter just said, it's really about making sure that we're eating enough to fuel and recover. And
Mm.
I'll give a quick shout out to Hope. She works on our compliance team. You
Mhm.
know, Hope's had a goal. She's wanted to lean out and really focus on her nutrition. And
Mhm.
what a lot of her nutrition is looked at as I've been helping her is just eating a lot of protein. And
Mhm.
when you're doing this the right way, guys, she's been losing weight
Mhm.
and maintaining weight at over 2,300 calories a day. And I know just from experience
That's
sitting
a
down and
shocking value for a lot
yeah,
of people to hear.
yeah. And so guys, when you're sitting down in focus meetings and you guys are telling your trainers that I've only been eating, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 calories, you guys are not getting the calories
Mhm.
that you need and not serving your body the right way. And if you guys are really looking to get the results that you want, start with a scaled approach and let protein 100 grams a day be the first
Mhm.
thing. So if you guys don't take anything away from this podcast, this episode, a minimum of 100 grams, and let that be what drives you to initiate trying to recover better,
Mhm.
perform better, and start getting the results that you guys want.
Before we hop off, I do want to ask Luke to just break down one thing. So, hey, we were starting on this fitness journey. I highly recommend you book those focus meetings, but maybe you haven't. And we recommend first step is just track that protein. What if they're not even hitting 100 grams?
Yeah, so if you guys aren't hitting at 100 grams, again, take it in a scaled approach. And guys, it's okay to not be at 100 grams, but start at maybe 50 or 60. And guys, week over week, just start adding in simple things. So if I know the only meal I eat a day is dinner, and I know that with me and my family, we sit down and we have a lean protein source, add in a Greek yogurt. There's an extra 15 grams there, or even just commit, hey, I'm gonna buy Afterburn, and
Mhm.
every single time I take camp, I'm gonna get those quick 23 grams in, or if you guys are plant-based, there's an extra 30. But start small and then stack those as you go.
Perfect. All right. Anything else you want to say on today's about basics of protein?
Tune in next week. We got a couple more episodes on this mini series.
Perfect. Thank you guys for listening. Subscribe. We're going to drop more. Next week, we're going to go ahead and give you some tips and tricks on how to get that daily protein intake. So let's take it out. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.